Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Ox Talks. It is Friday, April 5th, 2024. Hope you're having a productive workday today and have some big plans to spend time with family and friends this weekend. There's a lot going on. The weekends, it's easy for us to let our guard down. It's a time that we all use to, decompress, if you will, from stressful work weeks. But it's not a time for us to get lazy, for us to let our guards down. We have to be on watch. We have to stay vigilant. A lot's happening in the world and in this country right now. This Middle East conflict is going to escalate this weekend, most likely with Iran launching some kind of an attack against Israel. Where will that take place? Nobody really knows. To what extent? Nobody really knows. But the United States came out this afternoon and warned Iran not to target its civilians and its bases, etc. So if the United States is having to come out and actually specifically warn Iran not to do that, anything is on the table. Don't think it doesn't affect you here just because it might be taking place in the Middle East. This will have a drastic impact on the price of oil, which continues to go up and will spike even higher if this escalates further in the Middle East. That translates into higher prices that you and I pay at the pump for gasoline, and it will have an impact on everyone's bottom line. So let's keep a watch on that over the weekend. Gold was up big time again today, almost $40 an ounce. My personal opinion is that it's spiking on some of that expectation. We don't know what's going to happen over this weekend with that situation, or anything for that matter. We have the eclipse on Monday, so that's a big day. Everyone is waiting with bated breath to see that or see how it unfolds. Is it just simply going to be an eclipse for a couple hours with no other events happening and no other collateral issues? Probably, but who knows? Again, we have to prepare basically for anything. So use some extra time this weekend if you can. I discuss this on Friday shows often, which is use some extra time just to go through your preps. Make sure your flashlights are working. Make sure you have some extra food stocked away. Make sure you have some extra water. Check your security. Make sure that your tools are let's say functioning, that you understand where everything is, that you're organized. Most of this stuff is just being organized, having access to what you need when you need it, and be prepared to deploy it in an emergency. It won't happen if you're not organized, because in times of an emergency or when stress is really, really high, adrenaline's running, it's going to be, everything's going to seem, let's say, more overwhelming than normally would otherwise. So please use some time this weekend to do that if you have it. Let me jump into, well, before I start, thank you for watching the videos. Appreciate you tuning into the channel, supporting the channel. If you've subscribed, I appreciate it. Make sure you stay subscribed. If you're not subscribed, please consider doing that for me. Hit the thumbs up button and the bell notification. Continue, please, to share the videos with your family, friends, anybody that will listen to this information. We have to keep waking people up. We jump into a few news stories today. I'm going to try to keep it a little bit briefer on Friday. I've got to get out here for some afternoon appointments and then a workout. Credit card debt. Discussed it on this channel. We know credit card usage around this country is off the charts. People are buying things they can't afford. They're running up credit cards at very, very high interest rates. They're not paying it back. And we know that because the credit card debt is at an all-time high, continues to grow. So consumers are not learning. They are continuing, and maybe it's out of necessity. Maybe these people are using credit cards to buy food and to put gasoline in their vehicles. I'm sure there is some of that. But for the ones that are just out swiping the plastic and buying things to impress people, guys, we have to try to find a way to reverse course on this. So let me discuss this. Came out Zero Hedge just a couple hours ago. It says, just when you thought the U.S. consumers had finally learned their lesson, had stopped buying stuff they can't afford with money they don't have, we got the latest consumer credit card data, which collapsed that particular narrative. It says in a millisecond. So we talk about revolving debt, which is credit cards, and we talk about non-revolving debt, which is like auto loans, student loans, things like that. It says revolving credit in February rose by $11.3 billion, and that's up from an upward revised $8.6 billion. drastic increase, pushing total revolving credit to a record $1.339 trillion. And folks, the savings rate in this country is at an all-time low. So we have credit card an all-time high, savings rate at an all-time low. It says, and this is also taking place at a time when the average interest rate on a credit card is 21.59% in quarter one of 2024. So the credit card debt continues to be out of control. It's going to result in more bankruptcies and people basically losing everything. So I wanted to share that with you. The next article I'll touch on, which obviously was the jobs number, came out this morning. I'm not going to dig too deeply into the jobs number. It was supposedly a 4 sigma beat. 303,000 jobs were supposedly created in this economy over the last month. But what I want you to understand is those jobs were part-time jobs. We actually lost full-time jobs in this country. So the number of part-time jobs soared by 691,000 to 28.632 million, and that's up from 27.941 million, while full-time jobs dropped by 6,000 to 132.940 million. So we have lost full-time jobs in this country. So, how many people, and comment below, how many people are having to keep or carry several part-time jobs just to make ends meet? That's not the way it used to be in this country. I'm going to talk about manufacturing and the loss of manufacturing that we've continued to see decline the losses accelerating for manufacturing in this country. Very, very sad. So the number only gets scarier when we extend the period to the past year, shows a chart. Since March 2023, the number of full-time workers has collapsed by 1.347 million, while the number of part-time workers exploded to 1.888 million. And in addition to that, we have a large swath of that going to illegal immigrants who have come into this country. They're taking the part-time jobs as well. I saw a statistic that I thought was very, very interesting if you really put it in perspective, and it's buried in an article that I'll share with you in more detail in a second from Reuters that I saw yesterday. But it says manufacturing share of U.S. employment accounted for roughly 1/3 of all jobs in this country after World War II. It's been in steady decline for decades as the economy has reoriented. We know that. And there's been efficiency improvements and automation. But I had no idea that after World War II, 1/3 of all jobs in this country were manufacturing jobs. So since late 2022, factories have accounted on average for just over, listen to this, 2,000 of the nearly 250,000 jobs of all types added monthly. In February, factory work fell to a record low, 8.2% of U.S. employment, a 13.8-point drop from the 1979 peak of 22%. It says data from the Institute for Supply Management this week showed manufacturing employment contracted for a 6th straight month in March. This says it's unusually long run outside of a recession. So I'm sure that most of us, including myself, believe that we are in a recession now. You have people using credit cards to fund their lifestyles, and in many respects just to be able to buy necessities for their family. And you have manufacturing and full-time jobs simply non-existent. You have part-time jobs being created in droves, and many of those are going to illegal immigrants. That is a recipe for disaster. So, and I just saw there was, I think, 99-cent stores. An article came out last night, news, they're liquidating, they're selling all their stores. I don't know, thousands of locations of 99-cent stores are now going to be liquidated. I believe that 99-cent store as a viable entity is going to cease to exist. We've talked about this before relative to the Dollar Tree, Dollar General. If the 99-cent stores can't make it, what does that say for the rest of the consumerism economy as a whole? If those types of stores are literally not just having slow times, but going out of business. Let me talk about the Reuters article. It says U.S. employment boom leaves factory workers behind. To go back to the manufacturing issue. And this talks about a company called Arians Company out of Brillion, Wisconsin, U.S. That's basically laying off. They're having to cut shifts and halted nearly all hiring last summer after sales slumped at its company. It says best known for making bright orange snowblowers and lawnmowers sold around the world. Headcount fell 20% to 1,600 people. And the CEO of the company, the founder, says he doesn't see business improving until at least 2025. The experience of the Arians Company, a fourth-generation family-owned firm in Brillion, Wisconsin, shows the stark contrast, it says, between U.S. factory employment essentially flatlining for more than a year, and then the 4-year, it says, boom in the wider job market. Again, we talked about the jobs. If we consider formation or creation of millions of part-time jobs a boom, okay. But we know that factory jobs are declining. We don't make anything anymore. We're making less than we've ever made in this country, which is very, very sad. So even as construction's booming and some segments of heavy industry continue to hum, such as those that supply goods for government-funded infrastructure projects, the larger outlook for jobs in manufacturing, it says, is very, very weak. And then I found an article that does this point as well, talking about Illinois. And when I see stuff come up on a state-by-state basis, I will share it. And if you live in Illinois, if any of these areas, or you happen to be employed by any of these companies, please comment below. Let us know what you're seeing, if you can provide any more information about what's happening in your local communities with regard to manufacturing and factory jobs. I think it'd be educational for all of us to hear about that. This is an article out of Newsweek from yesterday. It says, Illinois hit by mass layoffs as 4 factories close. It says workers at factories in Illinois have been hit by mass layoffs and closures. Since the start of 2024, 4 factories in Illinois have announced they will make more employees redundant due to manufacturing costs, revenue losses, and the need to relocate operations. So when you make somebody redundant, basically you're firing them. You're reducing your head count. You're reducing your workforce. Redundant means you have too many people that are working or doing the same job, and so you have to eliminate some of those positions. It says the Quaker Oats Company, Blommer Chocolate Company, Rivian, and Monterey Mushrooms have all announced or enacted layoffs since January of this year. This week, the Quaker Oats Company announced it would make 510 redundancies as it moves operations to other factories. The Quaker Oats Company announced that they are permanently closing a facility in Danville, Illinois, the company said in a statement. It cited the need for modernization and enhancements at the facility that would require it to be closed for an extended period of time. The company has now, though, opted to move to other facilities instead of carrying out the necessary changes. If you guys have any information on Quaker Oat Company, hopefully you're not one of these people that I'm going to be discussing today that is going to be losing their job. It says that in late March, Blommer Chocolate Company notified state officials that the closure of its factory in Chicago's Fulton River District would result in 226 job losses as of May 31st. A statement seen by the daily newspaper Chicago Sun-Times said the decision is down to the location and age of the facility, coupled with increasing repair and maintenance of the building and equipment, has elevated operating costs and created production reliability issues, it says. Electric car manufacturing Rivian has also announced 100 redundancies for workers at its assembly plant in Normal this year, amounting to 0.6% of its salaried workforce in Illinois. The company reported a loss of $1.5 billion in the fourth quarter of last year compared to a loss of $1.7 billion during the same period in 2022. And lastly, it says, after an announcement made in November of 2023, Monterey Mushrooms laid off 100 workers when it closed its farm in Bureau County in January. It also closed a location in Florida at the same time, citing significant challenges, including global pandemic weather impacts, inflation, and changes in market behavior. Market behavior means people aren't buying the products. So, look, The stock market was rocking and rolling today again. It was up a lot. I was very surprised the market rallied hearing that jobs report. Unless the market simply doesn't believe the jobs report, and the numbers were so far in excess of even the median range forecast. The median range forecast is about 214,000. We got 303,000. So it's probably just laughable now. Even the markets probably don't take it seriously. But look at stock market was up a lot today. Gold and silver put on substantial gains. I think a lot of that might have to do with the uncertainty going into this weekend again, relative to the Middle East crisis. But look, gold has shown insane strength. Let's continue to watch it. I'm going to leave it there today. I'll be leaving to get my workout. My videos are going to be a little less frequent over the next few weeks, guys. I have a whole lot of case work and caseload I have to address. Week after next, I think I take about 6 or 7 depositions that week. I have motions I have to be preparing for, and a whole lot of matters I have to get done. So if the videos are not every day, bear with me. I'm not going anywhere. It'll just give me an opportunity to regroup, maybe every other day if I can, and then cherry pick some of this data and the stories for you. If anything obviously major happens, I'll be out here to provide updates as we go. I'm going to try to get a video up this weekend. Please get your workout in today. Get your steps in. We have to continue to exercise if you're physically able to do it. If you don't have impairments or ailments that prevent you from exercising, you have no excuse. Please get off the couch. Please get the steps in. Do some strength training. Sit-ups, push-ups can be done wherever you are, next to your desk, at your house, in your backyard, in your garage. You don't need a fancy gym membership. We have to be moving, and we have to be working on our physical fitness and our health. And what ties into that as well is the diet. We have to eat healthier, all of us. It's something that I have to work at every single day. And changing habits is hard to do, but once you change them and you see the benefits, look, it's very empowering, and I hope that each and every one of you will take that seriously. When I walk around in public, the vast majority of people just look so unhealthy. They got these, just swollen. They're obese. I mean, they're walking around with, sugary sodas and coffees, things like that in their hands. Not a care in the world. So we don't want to be one of those people. It impacts your health. That's why diabetes is on the rise in this country. We just have so much healthcare costs, and so much of our healthcare system being dedicated to caring for people that just could have taken care of themselves better, taken care of their bodies, exercised. So I'll get off that rant today. Please get it done, though. And throughout the weekend as well, be safe. Enjoy time with family and friends this weekend. Be vigilant. Let's keep watching what's happening with all these different crises. And I will plan to see all of you in the next day or so. Have a great evening. Bye.